Hogwarts Legacy has seen massive success across the board, and the game's only been out from at current on this video just like a week. And the viewership has broken on Twitch. It hit like 1.2 million viewers, and the ratings for this game, from what I've seen, have been 9 or above out of 10, which is fantastic. But I know for myself and many other people who play this game who really enjoy it, is the question that we have is, how are we going to keep this game relevant? How is it going to have longevity? Now, if you haven't played Hogwarts Legacy, keep in mind that it is an open world game. It has a story, there's side quests, all this other stuff, and it's based off of a leveling and a gear system. So the higher your level, the more talent points you get, which pretty much allows you to have skills for how you want to play. And the more that you grind for materials, the better gear you get. So again, if you decide to grind early like I did, again, you can kind of progress through the gear system pretty quickly and get legendary gear. So the fighting system is based off of a blocking and dodging and having to break enemy shields with a certain spell type. So if it's, for example, a yellow shield, you'd have to use a yellow spell. I'm just using that as an example because there's multiple different types under that. So my question, in general, is that for the longevity of this game, should Hogwarts Legacy add multiplayer? Now, under multiplayer, I have two things here. One would be player versus player, you know, PvP, and the other side of it would be PVE, player versus environment. Strictly talking about player versus player, strictly talking about PvP, I do not think with how the fighting system works, with how everything is currently, it would not work. I mean, even think about it. If you and your friend are facing off and your friend decided to go the evil route and decide to use any of the unforgivable curses, they could just use Avada Kedavra and you're done within the first couple seconds of the match. So even if they take out unforgivable curses, they would have to worry about balancing out the gear and levels, because again, the better gear you have, the more defense, health, and offense that you can get, plus having better runes to put on your armor. So again, they'd have to find a way to balance out gear. And with how the fighting system works, like I mentioned with breaking shields, you could just infinitely dodge and block. So would you have a random shield generate, and if your teammate breaks it before you do, you get stunned? So basically, they would have to have a massive overhaul on how the fighting system works in general for a player versus player, strictly fighting type mode to be added into the game. It would be tough. It would be really hard. So I honestly don't think they should add PvP to the game when it comes to that specifically. Now, when it comes to PvE, player versus environment, I think co-op would be great, because that's pretty much what PvE is, right? You're working with your teammates to solve puzzles, you know, fight bosses, do all this other stuff. It would massively benefit from co-op mode in a multitude of activities. I understand the game is meant as a single-player story game. I totally get that. That's one aspect of it. But I think with the current systems that I mentioned before, with there being levels and gear to grind on top of having things to explore, such as the Merlin trials, astrology, etc., being able to run the battle arenas, do dungeons, repeat story missions, and even take on infamous foes multiple times and at higher difficulties for that improved loot, for the better gear that you can get for that, I think that would improve the longevity of this game a lot. I mean, even including a racing aspect, for example, like brooms, right? Again, you could consider that like player versus player, but again, it'd be like a racing game. Racing your friends on brooms throughout Hogwarts and the surrounding areas, being able to, you know, take whatever you've done in the story and use that as something to where you can, you know, face your teammates. I think that would be fantastic. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Well, there's already mods that people are working on to get multiplayer in this game. They're already been implemented. I think that's great, but I think the developers themselves need to take this into consideration, because with this game, I'm comparing this game to Destiny 2, because I play Destiny 2 a lot. Now, Destiny 2 has PvP and PvE. And with the PvE aspect, there's a lot of repeatability. There's a lot of chances to get better gear in specific roles that you want. And I think if they added something like that into this game, I think that would be great. Like I mentioned, having higher difficulty activities you can run with your teammates, I think that'd be great. I think, you know, implementing stuff like dungeons and raids, being able to have like 4 to 6 of your teammates run in, you have to do specific, you know, puzzles. You have to find a way to bring the boss's shield down so you can do damage. Again, I think there's multiple things that they could do with this game to improve the longevity and improve the community aspect, and multiple other things as well. I think that would be fantastic for this game. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to be reading through some of the comments and responding. But should Hogwarts Legacy add multiplayer? Should it be PvP and PvE, or should it just be one or the other? Again, like I said, this game would massively benefit from it. Longevity of it would be great. And, you know, if they decide to come out with any DLC content, I think that would it's just more icing on the cake. I honestly really love this game. I'm only on my first playthrough, but I'm grinding literally everything. I chose Gryffindor. I'm playing pretty much the good guy. I did learn, you know, 2 out of 3 of the unforgivable curses, but I don't really use them. I'm already strong enough with how how I laid everything out with my armor and my gear and everything, but I really enjoy this game, and I really want to see it succeed for the long term. But in any event, if you guys like what you heard, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn the bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another video here on the channel. If you didn't know, we actually stream 3 days a week here on YouTube, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Again, currently I'm going to be playing Hogwarts Legacy, but there's going to be Destiny 2 Lightfall coming out. I'm going to be playing that, and then also getting through my Cyberpunk second run because I'm trying to get my attributes right. But if you want to watch any of that live, come here on the channel, you know, interact in the chat. And if you want to join my Discord and if we want to play activities together for multiplayer games, again, that is where you're going to find us. My Discord will be in the description here. But again, we're talking about multiple topics here: gaming, anime, PC tech, and a lot of other stuff as well. Lastly, if you didn't know, we hit YouTube Partner, which has given us access to a bunch of cool things here on the channel. One of those things being memberships. If you don't know what a membership is, it is essentially like a Twitch subscription. That's going to give you access to the exclusive, you know, emotes here on the channel, the monthly badges, and all that great jazz. So if you'd like more info, all you have to do is press the join button next to subscribe, and that will give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it in the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.